In her case, what they did was they gave her son a fake diagnosis, leukemia, and she didn't realize it until 6 years later. And she basically was seeing her son deteriorate in front of her eyes. And you read the comments in this video, and this is her page right here. Please go follow her. She has all the details. She comes with a lot of receipts. She's trying to basically just get justice. It seems like she can't get anywhere. Seems like they're very heavily protected. But reading the comments, it looks like she's not the only one. There's several other mothers coming out saying the same story. Parents, be very careful when you go to hospitals and places, health facilities. Make sure you know what you're signing every single time. Do not say no. Tell them straight up that they are not allowed to experiment on your children. And another thing she mentioned was they would always ask for extra little things like, oh, we need to take extra liquid, extra blood, extra for this, for that, for that. And I have kids, and I could have sworn that I remember them doing things like that. And I'm like, I don't even know why they're taking blood out. And I would just let them because I trusted them blindly, ignorantly. No, anytime they want to take blood, you ask them for what? For what is the purpose? Where did I sign for this? And just be very careful. This world is very, very evil. And this story, I feel like, the opinion I will give, it needs to spread, and they need to be investigated.
Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom to all the men and women who are rehearsing the righteous acts day in and day out. Shalom to you. Before we get started, I want to give all praises, all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who are preaching and teaching this truth with humility and sincerity across the four winds of the world to you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indigenous of the Americas, and the Israelite stranger that has been scattered across the four winds of the world, but their lineage goes back to a Black, Hispanic, or Native Indigenous of the America, which go back to the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which make collectively the 12 sons of Jacob, the nation of Yasharallah. Okay, so as you got done seeing this video with the lady, I had done a video earlier in Spanish about the actual woman that happened to, and her son, in the children's hospital in California. I believe they said it was in Los Angeles, I believe. Okay, so, it's evident if you're in this 100% true gospel, it's obvious why these things are happening, and they continue happening to us. And we know this, right? Because we got the discernment in the spirit who Esau, Edom is, and how you shouldn't be naive to think this man is not capable of doing horrendous things. And he's got a history of doing horrendous things to both the kingdoms, northern and the southern kingdom, okay? Horrific, oppression. I believe he used to even experiment on Eve, on the so-called black woman. A lot of these surgeries, knowledge that they have nowadays is because they used to experiment on the Negro, Hispanic, and Native Indigenous. Okay, this is very well documented. Okay, so let's get started here. As you got done hearing her, her son got a fake diagnosis of leukemia. Okay, and you have to be careful with that. You go to these hospitals, you can't just go around being too comfortable and naive to think these devils are not gonna do foul play. Okay, malpractice, foul play, all of that in order to get the bottom line. The bottom line is, I believe in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. They are also trying to get organs. That's another thing that's been going on lately. People who have that OD on their license, meaning organ donor, they are trying to set you up in a position where you sign some off where you don't get to use the Salakia, the do not resuscitate consent form sign, where they don't use these equipments like the electric shock and chest compression in order for you to, go to sleep. And that way they're able to get those organs, Okay, so Salakia for the long intro there. Let's get started here. We're going to start in Deuteronomy 28:48. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Okay, and this eagle, we know that these Edomites like to use as a mascot, that eagle. You can find that within the other European nations. Okay, they love this eagle. And this is how we know not only are they talking about them, is because this is exactly what happened to our nation when we got swooped up by that eagle and was placed into slavitude. Okay, this is what it's going into. It's speaking about the Edomites, which go back to Esau. Okay, let's continue here. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. And in this case, with the lady and her son and a list of other younger Israelite kids that got unalived in the children's LA hospital. This is what it's speaking on, man, that they don't have any favor for young. Okay, they don't care. They could care less how old you are or how young you are. They don't have no respect, especially for an Israelite. Okay, they would cut you off quick and in a hurry to get their money. And right now with this administration, they've probably been given the okay, and they probably have a certain amount of numbers that they don't want to deal with. Okay, so let's continue here. Let's go to Psalms 55:20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. Okay, and these people that have been at peace with him are the Israelites. Okay, we have a habit of being too naive, being too comfortable around Esau, Edom, especially the 2/3 and really the great portion of our nation, because a lot of our people are still spiritually and mentally under captivity, and they haven't received the true name. Therefore, they haven't received the mysteries of this 100% true gospel. Okay, they are completely unaware of who they are. They don't even know who they are. Even worse, not know who their number one enemy is. And it's been written throughout the whole scripture who our enemy is, and that is Esau, Edom. And Esau, Edom is the self-proclaimed white man, which goes back to Esau. Okay, Esau is the progenitor of the so-called white man European race. He is the progenitor, just like Jacob is the progenitor of the Negro, Latino, Hispanic, Native Indigenous. Okay, this is why it's so crucial that you know this 100% true gospel. And it all starts with the name. Okay, every name or every idol comes with a vibration. Just like that JC name comes with a false doctrine. Therefore, having a false foundation that's not going to be able to stand. And you're seeing proof of that right now. How this whole world is crumbling before our eyes, and these people are trying to hold on to that fake foundation that was built on sand, as it writes, and as you know, in the book of Matthew 7, it speaks on that. Yahweh Shai being the rock, being the chief cornerstone of the whole nation of Yasharallah. But the vast majority of our people got that foundation built on sand, man, built on falsity, built on a fake name. And that's where it starts, man. Any foundation, any type of construction or building, it all starts in your foundation, man. And this is why we are blind spiritually and mentally. And we're literally walking around a poisonous snake, man. Would you turn your back on a snake? Imagine a snake was 5 feet away from you, a poisonous one at that. First thing you're going to do is keep your eye on that damn snake. And as you're walking backwards, you're not going to turn your face from that deadly animal, because you know better. All right? You were born again in the spirit with the true name, therefore giving you a solid foundation to be able to discern things in the spirit, and more importantly, to be able to discern who are your enemies. Okay, Esau, Edom is your number one enemy. Okay, let's continue here. He had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. Let's continue to 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Okay, this dude will come with this papers, legalities, and try to take advantage of you in a very vulnerable moment, especially in a hospital. You are in a vulnerable state right there. You're nervous. You don't know what to do. So you say yes to everything and sign. And no, you shouldn't say yes, and sign any old paper. No, if you need to get a translator, get one. Or if you don't understand something, you repeat, you tell them to explain it to you. But you don't just say yes, and sign off anything, man. Especially with this devil, he's known. That's one of his biggest scams throughout history. This guy, Salakia, I flipped the page accidentally. This guy's known for having a whole contracts, whole treaties filled out later on just for him to break his own treaty. That's the type of people you're dealing with. So you have to be aware of that. But you won't, because you are under that damn JC spell, right? That false doctrine, okay? That foundation that was built just so you could fall flat on your face. Okay, let's continue here. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his hearts. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Okay, this dude's a con man. He will do and say anything to get you to do what he wants you to do. That only favors him. Okay, that's why you have to be careful, man. I believe the lady was saying something about they diagnosed them with leukemia. Okay. And they also started taking DNA blood samples, a sample here, a sample there. And at that point, I'm sure they had the signature signed off already, saying they were allowed to. And pretty much now, she couldn't do anything. Okay, I had a buddy just a couple weeks ago. His mother passed away, and this is one of my really close friends. And, he's a so-called African American. So this could happen to anybody. They were trying to pull an okey doke on him and his family. to sign on the DNR consent, which means the do not resuscitate consent. So there's actually a paper, a consent, a letter that they try to have people sign off on. And what that means is you're saying that if you go a flat line, you're saying that you do not want to be resuscitated, meaning you don't want them to use the electric shock or chest compression to bring you back to life. Okay, this is the type of devil you're dealing with, you know. I don't think I wouldn't think anybody would, maybe there's certain cases, but everybody that I know would want to get resuscitated, right? But they actually have that type of consent. You know, if you sign off on that, they're going to be like, no, we're not going to use electric shock. They probably have to, you know, charge you. And if you ain't got the right insurance, they're probably looking like, you know, for them, it's probably better off. A lot of people, to, you know, that's the way this devil thinks, that you go to sleep. Okay. I had a little bit of a little order I had seen earlier, a little paper talking about the consent. Give me 1 second here. Just a little bit of information on that. Couple key points on it. So a do not resuscitate order requires explicit consent from the patient, their healthcare proxy, or family to legally instruct medical staff not to perform CPR if heart breathing stops. Okay, you heard it right there. Not to perform CPR. It must be documented by a physician, can be oral or written, and allows for a natural death while permitting other care. Okay, these are the key facts about DNR consent. Who gives the consent? The patient, if competent. A healthcare proxy, an agent, or family members if the patient cannot decide. Wow, you see that, man? This is a very vulnerable, very scary situation to be in. What if the family member has family that they're crazy, they don't want them alive? I mean, all types of things could be, you know, a real situation like that, you know? Let's go to the next one. How it is validated. It must be documented in the medical record and signed by a physician. All right, so ultimately it's got to be signed by the physician, but it's got to be allowed. I'm sure it's got to be signed by the patient as well. You know, so that's why you got to be careful, man. My buddy was telling me that they try to sign off and they found out about it and then they were pissed off. And so I think you are able to still revoke, even though you signed it. The family or the patient, last minute, you could say, no, I want for you to try to resuscitate that individual. Okay. So, you know, you need to be careful, especially nowadays. You got the economy really bad. You're starting to see signs on even like products and foods alike, how they've been tampering with stuff. I mean, this Babylon the Great is broke, man. It's completely broke, and it's in its last days. And these guys are doing anything and everything to stay afloat, man. From the economy to the medical field. You know, their main concern is the bottom line. How could we still be making more money? It doesn't matter what shady, dirty thing they have to do. They will do it, man. That's how Esau Edom is. Okay. So I just wanted to speak a little bit on that. You know, another thing I wanted to bring up was that organ donor stuff, man. You know, even before I came in this truth, man, I thank Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai that have me a little bit of common sense. Even though I didn't have the 100% true gospel, I was aware that this world is ran by the wicked. I wasn't under that BS JC doctrine, that lovey-dovey bullshit naive spirit, man. I wasn't under that. I don't know that I had to been Yahweh Shai. I had to been, because I see so many other people under that spell, and this is how they fall vulnerable into the hands of the wicked, man. How it says in Job 9:24, the world is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If who not, who is he? Where and who is he? Roughly paraphrasing, okay? Job 9:24. But a lot of people are under that doctrine, man, are under that naive spirit, thinking people are going to automatically do the right thing. And you shouldn't think that way. Okay, it is not guaranteed. There are some people that are good, they have a good conscience, but you're living in Babylon, man. You're around Edomites, other nations, even our own nation got demons in them, man. So you have to be circumspect. You got to have your head on a swivel. Okay? Because anything at any time can happen. Okay? There's the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, is constantly bringing judgment here on Babylon. Constantly. For hearkening into false names, false idols. Okay? Trusting the heathen. Okay, that organ donor shit, man. Fuck that. Get rid of that crap like today. Don't even wait to do it as soon as you can, man. Get rid of that. I believe I did a little research on that. You could go to the registry, the same place where you allowed yourself to do that crap, man. Take it off, man. Because at the end of the day, man, I knew that's what I was gonna speak on. At the end of the day, I knew. Listen. I knew at the end of the day that them damn organs, man, they go to a certain small percentage of people that ain't even my people, man. Okay? So I'm here slaving all my life just to give in my last dying breath, give my life, my organs to some damn Edomites, man. Okay? That's just bullshit. It should be set up where it should be given into your own people, right? Or you decide. That surgery that they do, those transplants are ridiculously expensive, man. I had searched it up earlier. You're talking millions of dollars. I had no idea. I knew it was expensive. I didn't know it was that expensive, man. Millions of dollars. Let me look it up real quick. Organ transplant cost. Here you go. This is just a AI overview on Google. You know what I'm saying? Look real quick. Organ transplants are high cost medical procedures in the United States, averaging roughly $743,000 to over $1 million. Okay, so $750,000 to $1 million, right? Okay, and then it's got a couple examples here. Estimated $225 bill charges per procedure. Heart transplant, $1.9 million. Liver, $1 million. Pancreas, $609. Bone marrow, $577. Kidney, $446,000. Heart, lung, $1.2 million. Okay, just to give you a little sample of the cost of these transplants. Okay, this is a $1 billion business. Okay, so this is why you're seeing so many kids being missing, grown-ups alike, so many malpractices in this hospital, because you got a waiting list of millionaires out there that need some type of new liver or heart, and they got to get it done, man. In order for them to get paid, guess what? You need the ingredients, man, in order for you to get, for them damn Edomites to get paid, man. So they gonna find out a way real quick, man. Sign over here, sign over there. Hey, this person said he signed here, so we got a potential guy here that we could get his lungs and make a guap, man. Make a fortune off of one organ. Okay. And in the last 7-8 years, you hear a lot of the people in the medical field, especially doctors, complaining of the insurance policies in the America, how it's not enough. Okay, they hate dealing with that free, affordable insurance stuff because it comes in increments. Okay, and these guys trying to get paid, man. You're talking about Babylon over here, man. Talking about Babylonians over here. They want their bottom line. Okay, they don't give a damn. And, they're going to do what they're going to do, man. Okay? So this is the type of folks we're dealing with, man. Man, you have to wake up, repent, and come back to your true biblical nationality and stop hearkening, stop claiming this false idol of JC or Allah or Buddha, all that nonsense, man. There's only one true power. It's the God of Yasharallah. Okay? Let's continue here. Let's go to Isaiah 47:6. Isaiah 47:6. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance. Okay, Yahweh Shai is pissed off, man. He is pissed off at our people that are worshiping and calling on a fake name and worshiping a fake doctrine. Okay? Let's continue. And given them into thy hand. Okay? Back to Job 9:24. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai has given the world into the wicked, man. Has given the world into the hands of the wicked and has given the nation of Yasharallah. Okay, you Israelites, he has given him to this devil, man, and given them into thy hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. Okay, very heavily has this devil placed a yoke on us. Okay, still has us under bondage, has us under spiritual and mental slavitude, man. And this is why you fall for the okie doke every time, man. Okay, the Lord is fed up. He's tired of this shit. Relying on Esau, Edom for every little thing. And we do understand and know that we're under captivity. We have to go to him. But you have to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. Okay, you have to be wise when you go to a hospital. Don't just sign anything. You don't have to go berserk or nothing. Just, be like, hey, man, I'm not signing nothing until I know for sure what I'm getting myself into. If you have to delay, delay it, man. Sometimes you got to be a little stern, speak up. Sometimes you might have to get a little loud as long as you don't, just be smart with it. I always believe you could always be stern without being rude. You could always raise your tone and let somebody know how serious you are. Okay? Let's continue here. Let's go to Isaiah 47, and we're going to probably end it with this one here. Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. Okay, that's a very lofty, that's a very conceited, haughty spirit. Okay, and it's talking about Esau, Edom here, man. Let's continue. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Okay, this is what I want to get into, man. Just like our kids or our elders and our kids are being unalived. There's being sorcery, wickedness done towards our kids, whether they be spiritual wickedness or actual malpractice, actual physical violence and poisoning to our older and our younger kids. This is going to come back on Esau, Edom double, man, for doing all this shit. Okay? And we're going to get into that in this next scripture. Okay, and they swear up and down none of this is going to happen to them. And they're sadly mistaken, man. It's not only going to happen, but it's going to come to them twofold, man. It's going to come to them double unto her, as it is written in the book of Revelations. Double unto Esau, Edom, the Chaldeans, here in spiritual Babylon, man. Okay. Let's see if I can find that real quick. Yeah, let's see it right here. Revelations 18 and 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. In the cup which she had filled to her double. And that cup that she filled was a cup full of abominations, right? The golden cup that was filled with filthy abominations of her wicked, disgusting heart, man. Okay? This is the cup of abomination that's speaking on. And double is going to be given unto her, right? The wrath of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua will come unto her double, man. Okay, and why? Because we just got done reading earlier, and we could read number 7. Why? This is why. How much she has glorified herself, okay? That's all she's ever thought about, is glorifying herself. Be myself and I type of spirit. Don't give a damn about nobody else. Okay, this is Esau, Edom, man. He's always been like that. You know, he doesn't want nothing to do with righteousness, because he knows the second righteousness reigns on earth, his empire is completely gone. This is the only way he's able to thrive, to be successful, is by doing witchcraft, by doing falsity, sorcery. Because the second, again, righteousness is ruling, his power is gone. Okay, he only walks on the left-hand side. Okay, he only wants to know about the left-handed work, left-handed spirituality, which is wickedness. He doesn't want nothing to do with righteousness, nor the true, even worse, the true nation of righteousness, which is Yasharallah. Okay, remember Esau sold his birthright. Okay, he's like, no, I don't want nothing to do with the nation of Yasharallah. I want to exalt myself above the nation of Yasharallah, and I want to exalt myself above and beyond even God. Okay, Esau Edom has a godlike complex, right? That's why he sold his birthright. Okay, let's continue here. So much torment and sorrow give her, for she said in her heart, and this is talking about the whore, the scarlet whore. Okay, this is figuratively speaking about Babylon here, the scarlet harlot. Okay, for she said in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow. Just like we just got done reading in the book of Isaiah. Okay, keeps talking about that. I'm not going to be no widow. I'm going to stay married. I'm going to have all the luxuries of the world, and I will see no sorrow, and neither will my kids. And boy, is she wrong. She's about to not only receive what we receive, but she is going to receive double. Give unto her double. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. Call hello Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Okay, this is what she's got coming, man. So she keep effing around Esau, Edom. Okay, just furthermore showing the world, proving more and more who you truly are, man. It's Esau, Edom, the nation that Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai has an indignation for Esau, Edom. Okay. We're going to end it with number 9. But these two things shall come to thee in one moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. Okay, and one day is talking about the day of judgment, man, the most horrible day that's mankind has never seen, man. Okay, is the woe number 3. Okay, that woe number 3 is a judgment not only on Babylon the Great and the wicked ruling empire of Esau, Edom, but the whole world initially is going to face that judgment, including the chosen nation. 2/3 of our people are going to be annihilated and judged brutally along with these damn heathens, right? For hearkening into this damn wicked idol, for hearkening into this false name and this false doctrine. Okay, let's continue here. They shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries, right? There's been a shitload of multitude of wickedness this damn whore has done, man. You know, these Edomites, you know, all the sins of the world has reached up to the heavens. Okay, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai has had enough and is bringing hardcore, brutal judgment on the Edomites and Babylon the Great. Okay, let's continue here. And for the great abundance of thine enhancement. Okay, again, we just got done saying how the Edomites have been in abundance. Why? Because they move on the left-hand side and they got everybody under that spell. Therefore, having them be exalted, man, through all the sorceries and enchantments. Okay, all these enchantments, man. Let's go into that word enchantment now that I'm already here. I don't think I've ever... Where's it at? Oh, here it is. It got a Hebrew transliteration for enchantment is habar. Okay, the Hebrew transliteration, habar. Okay, we know that the true ancient Hebrew didn't have the vowel letters of E. So this is why I'm pronouncing habar. Okay. Habar. Let's look at the outline. Biblical usage, association, company, band. Okay. Association, company, band, shared association. A magician. There you go. A charmer, spell. There you go. Enchantments, bro. You know, this guy's a left-handed worker. He likes to cast spells, and this whole world is under a spell, man. Because this is a damn warlock, this damn Edomite over here. Okay, Chabar. Let's look at the Strong's definition. A society, also a spell. Woo! A whole society, man, under a spell, man. You know, this is why this is spiritual Babylon. And if you go into the word Babel, back in the book of Genesis, it speaks on Babel. The Tower of Babel, you know, the story of the Tower of Babel. You know, you go into that word Babel, you know, it means confusion. Okay, that's his number one scheme, man. Have everybody idolizing a false god, calling on a false name, being under an enchantment, being under confusion, right? Being in a Babylonian state of mind. This is how he's been able to exalt himself. This is why he's in power. And the second true righteousness comes, he's going to fall flat on his face like Pharaoh did. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and end it with that. Before I go, I want to give all praises, all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who are preaching and teaching this truth with humility and sincerity across the four winds of the world. To you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indigenous of the America, and the Israelite stranger who's been spread across the four winds of the world, but their lineage goes back to a Black, Hispanic, or Native Indigenous of the America, which go back to the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which collectively make the 12 sons of Jacob, and collectively they are the nation of Yasharallah. Shalom, shalom.